Welcome! Today we are treating November-December 2013 Agricultural Science Theory questions. Question 1. Mention 4 roles of government in the development of agriculture in your country. Enumerate 3 roles of science and technology in agricultural development under the following headings. A. Animal breeding. B. Soil science. Let's try and answer this question in 1A. We are to mention the roles of government in the development of agriculture in our country, and in 1B, the I session, we are to enumerate the roles of science and technology in animals breeding and soil science. Now, let's give answers to these questions. What role do you think the government should have in agriculture? 1. Provide funding for scientific research, incentives for renewable energy, transportation, infrastructure, and more. Government agencies promote local agricultural products, provide food safety and inspection services, soil conservation and environmental protection. Government promotes agricultural education in schools and through civic organizations. They also regulate the size of farming operations permitted in their respective communities and approve laws related to farmers' markets, community gardens, and food assistance programs. Government influence on agriculture is often the center of debate. Government policies must balance the costs and benefits to farmers, consumers, the environment, government budgets, and competing interests. Let's look at 1B. Roles of science and technology in agricultural development. 1. Animal breeding. Development of new breeds of animals. Production of animals which are tolerant to pests. Production of animals which are resistant to diseases. Improvement of the quality of animal products, example, the eggs and milk. Production of animals with high feed conservation ratio. Use of artificial insemination technology to increase animal stocks. Application of genetic engineering and biotechnology to solve animal health problems. Production of animals that are adapted to unfavorable weather conditions. Soil science. Determination of soils that are suitable for particular crops. Determination of soil physical and chemical properties for better land management. Soil testing helps to determine nutrient status of the soil. Development of fertilizers help to increase crop yields. Soil mapping to determine efficient use of land. Irrigation system helps to improve moisture content of the soil. Drainage system helps in the reclamation of soil and land. Development of appropriate tillage practices. Question 2. State 3 problems of agricultural development in West Africa. Enumerate 3 benefits of commercial farming. List 2 farm machinery and 2 farm implements. Describe how the Gunter's chain is used. Land tenure problems. Basic amenities are unavailable. Poor finance. Poor transportation. B. Benefits of commercial farming. Encourages improvement in local infrastructure. One of the advantages of commercial farming is that it helps to establish and to improve the infrastructure of the area. Commercial farm that depends on electricity extend electricity to the community. The farmers construct roads to aid the movement of goods and equipment. In developing countries, governments build roads and railways and extend water to places where it does not exist. Increased production. Increased production. Another advantage of commercial farming is that it ensures increased production. Commercial farming puts comparatively more acreage under cultivation, mechanizes operations, controls pests and diseases. Therefore, they produce far more than other farming systems. As a result, commercial farmers increase production. Where they are engaged in food production, they help to increase the national stock of food products. Lower prices of products. Commercial farmers also help to decrease the cost of agricultural products. This is due to the fact that more crops are produced, so the prices of the commodities are lowered, responding to the forces of supply and demand. Lower cost of production. The operations of the commercial farmers are cheaper in the long run. This is because the farmer employs more efficient methods of production such as plowers, harrowers, planters, and harvesters. The farmer is able to control other variables like water supply through irrigation and is able to farm throughout the year. In some cases, this lowers his cost of production. Job creation. Commercial farming creates a lot of jobs for people in the catchment area and even beyond where the particular expertise needed is not available in the area. The money that is earned from working on the farm puts food on the table of the people. In other words, commercial farming is able to stimulate the local economy. Provides raw material. Another advantage of commercial farming is its ability to provide raw materials to feed local and international industries. The cultivation of pineapples, oranges, and mangoes in commercial quantities serves as a raw material for the juice manufacturing industries. The production of cocoa and coffee also serve the confectionery industries. Foreign exchange earner. Commercial farming is a very high foreign exchange earner for many countries of the world. In West Africa, the production of cocoa, coffee, and other non-traditional agricultural export commodities and the respective countries' foreign exchange. Farm machinery and farm implements. Farm machinery are tractor, bulldozer, sheller, dryer, combine harvester, motorized slasher, lawn mower, tree puller, incubators, milking machine, power tiller, mist blower, motorized knapsack sprayer. Implements. Plow, harrow, baler, rotavator, mower and slasher, knapsack sprayer, planter, seed dryer and broadcaster, fertilizer applicator, combine drill, cultivator, harvester, ridger, boom sprayer. Description of how the Gunter's chain is used. 2 people are required, the leader and the follower. 2 fixed points X and Y, are marked with the surveying poles such that one is clearly visible from the other. Leader pulls chain from one fixed point X towards the other pole Y, while the follower holds the end handle firmly against base of the first pole X. Ensure chain is straight and between the 2 points X and Y. Leader pushes an arrow into the ground next to the leading handle. Leader pulls chain towards second pole until follower reaches the arrow where the chain is firmly held. Leader pushes another arrow into the ground. As chain is pulled from another chain length, the follower pulls out the first arrow. When the second pole is reached, chain should be pulled past it so that the chain can be measured. Distance between the 2 poles can be calculated by multiplying the number of arrows held by the follower by 20 and adding length of the part of chain at the end. Question 3. Distinguish between macronutrients and micronutrients. Mention 3 factors that influence the availability of nutrients in the soil. State 4 ways by which each of the following factors affects land availability for agriculture in your country. 1. Communal land tenure. 2. Soil types. Mention 3 problems associated with drainage systems on farms. A macronutrient is something in food that is required in large amounts for health. Examples include proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and water. A micronutrient is a substance that is required in very small amounts for health. Examples include all essential vitamins and minerals. Temperature. 3b. Mention 3 factors that influence the availability of nutrients in the soil. 1. Temperature. The rate of nutrients released from CRF increases with increasing soil temperature, which shortens the release duration. 2. Soil moisture. Water vapor infiltration into CRF Priels is a limiting factor for nutrients released from CRF. Potassium nitrate at soil moisture of less than 50% field capacity. 3. Osmotic potential. Several CRF mechanistic nutrients release models incorporate nutrient diffusion from CRF's priels. 3c. Factors that affect land availability for agriculture. 1. Communal land tenure system. Communal land tenure system does not make enough land available for large-scale farmers. It leads to excessive land fragmentation. Land under the communal system cannot be used to grow permanent crops. Strangers cannot have access to communal land. Communal land cannot be expanded for increased productivity. Soil types. Infertile lands/soils are limiting factors to land availability because they are unsuitable for farming. Acidic soils are unsuitable for farming. Rocky soils, land are not cultivable. Very sandy soils are prone to erosion and are not fertile. Soils with termite hills and lots of termites are unsuitable for farming activities. Heavy clay soils are unsuitable for most crops. Very swampy soils on lands are also unsuitable for agriculture. Problems associated with drainage system on farms. Encourages the breeding of mosquitoes and pathogens/pests. Very expensive to establish. Coverage may reduce the size of farmlands. High maintenance costs. May result in gully erosion. High level of technical know-how is required. Acidity may increase around the reservoir. Cannot be practiced in all farmlands, especially where the water table is high. Clogging of channels by weeds. Impede movement of farm machinery. Easily silted.